Hello, this is Nancy Vastine, and it is a wet, rainy day today in good old Cincinnati, Ohio. Do you see all this stuff on my desk? Well, this is what I'm going to show you how to make today. A box. See, I'll show you my box. And it's decorated. Is it cute or what? This is just a box you don't open. It's just for decoration. But anyway, I thought I would show you how to make it. And that is a 3.5 by 3.5 box. So this is my pattern, and I will show you how to do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a piece of paper like so. And you want 3.5. Each box is 3.5. Am I in frame here? Okay. Then you want two of these pieces, okay? So you want 6 sides, 6 squares, and you want 2 up and 3 across, and they're each 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. Then on each end you have a 1/4 of an inch tab, a 1/4 of an inch tab, and a 1/4 of an inch tab. On this one you have 3 tabs on one square. You have a 1/4 of an inch on the bottom. So basically you're going to times this 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5 times 3 plus a 1/2 an inch. So whatever that measures out. How I do this, what makes it easier for me is I'll put a 1/2 an inch on one end of my, oh, and by the way, you're going to have, to make this one, you're going to have a 12 by 12 inch, well, a 12 inch paper, 12 inch long. So I measure out a 1/2 an inch tab on this side, and then I measure from that line over, I measure 3.5, and then 3.5, and then 3.5 from that line, and then I put a 1/4 of an inch on that end. Okay, now this one you're going to need 3 tabs like I told you. You're going to need a tab on this end, a tab on this end, and a tab on this end, and they all measure a 1/4 of an inch, and this measures a 1/4 of an inch. On this one it is the same thing, 3.5 across and 3.5 up for each square, and a 1/4 of an inch tab on each end, and a tab on the top of this box, and a tab on this one. So basically, I guess this is how it is on the paper when I measure it out. Maybe I should just draw you one just because. Let me get a paper. Let's see, where's my 12 by 12 paper? I just had it here. Well, let's just do it on the back of this Christmas paper. You'll be able to see it on this, I'm sure. And I'll show you how I measure it. Measuring is not my thing. I don't like to measure, but I've made, this box was 3.5, and then I've got one cut out that measures 2 inches, and then one that measures 2.5 inches. Okay, so this is how I do it. I go a 1/4 inch on this end, and I mark 1/4 inch. Okay. And then from that line, I'm going to measure up 3.5. From that line, I'm going to measure up 3.5. Mark it, and then 3.5 again, and mark it. And then 1/4 inch, and mark it. Okay. Then I'm going to draw all those across. Then I'm going to come this way. Let's see, how do I do this? Okay, so this goes on here. So then so I'm going to make 1/4 inch this way after I'm going to go up. Okay, after I draw these over 3.5 this way, I'm going to go up and I'm going to measure 1/4 inch. I'm going to measure, put my thing down here at 3.5 on this end and measure 1/4 inch or 3.5 inches. Then I'm going to go up from that line and measure 1/4 inch, and that is your tab. Okay, and I'm going to do that all the way across. 3.5, 3.5, and 3.5. And then I'm going to go up from that 3.5, 1/4 inch, and put that line. Put 1/4 inch, that line, and 1/4 inch. Okay, then I usually just draw these all the way across. Okay, draw lines all the way across. Am I confusing everybody yet? If you have a husband, he can cut your board. Okay, now these are your tabs. Okay, so you're going to cut on this line, but in order to measure another one up, oh, excuse me, my nose is running. You're going to measure another 1/4 inch from that top 1/4 inch, okay? You're going to measure another 1/4 inch across. And you're going to draw those all the way across. Like so. And you're going to draw a line on that. Now, from that the second 1/4 inch, you're going to measure up 3.5. Okay, you're going to go 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, and 3.5. And you're going to draw a line across. Now, you're going to need another 1/4 inch on the top of this one. This is why you're going to need a 12 by 12 paper. Took me quite a long time to figure this out so that I had enough tabs to close this off. Okay. Okay, now you're going to do your 3.5s this way. Oh, you're going to need your 1/4 inch this way. Quarter an inch this way. And you're going to draw a line on that. Am I confusing y'all yet? It's really not that hard once you figure this out. The easier way to do it is with the Tim Holtz ruler and go on your 1/4 inch line on the ruler and just measure it down. Okay, then you're going to draw, I'm going to make sure that these are all 3.5 across here. I measure 3.5 this way, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, and 3.5, and 3.5, and 1/4. And measure 1/4 inch from that end. Okay, then I'm going to draw a line, make sure that these are all right. You know, you measure twice, cut once. Line them all up. Draw your line. Now if you have a husband that knows how to do woodwork, you can just have him cut you a box out of some wood. 3.5 inch box. Or you can go to Michael's and buy the boxes. But I wanted to make them light enough just for a Christmas decoration or any kind of a... I know that people are using these blocks for iCads. Okay, now you're cutting. You're going to cut between these 2/4 inch. Okay, you're going to cut here. And I don't know why I'm having such a hard time. Get it on that line. And you're going to cut above this 1/4 inch up here. Okay, then you're going to cut this off at this 1/4 inch. You don't need this right here. And you don't need this one right here. Okay, now what you got here is the makings of a box. And what I do is I usually mark on this, so I'm going to score it. If you want to get your little scoring thing out, you want a tab here and a tab here. This you want to cut away, and you want a tab here. Okay, and you want a tab here. Okay, and then on this one you want a tab here on this end, a tab on this end, a tab on this end, and just one on this end. Okay? So basically what you're going to do is you're going to cut away, and you'll have it what looks like this. You're going to cut away that center tab, that center line here, and you have your tabs, and you're going to cut away all of this on that other one and all of this, and have a tab here and 3 tabs around this one square. Now to put it together, I've got one that is cut out of a 2.5 inch, which is the same thing as a 3.5 inch, other than you go a fourth, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, okay? So what we're gonna do with this is the box I'm gonna show you how to make today. These corners, you wanna angle them and cut them out of your tabs. That just makes it fold better. After you've scored these lines, scoring makes it easier to fold. If you have a scoreboard, you can use a scoreboard. If you don't, you can just use whatever. That'll make a score in there. Okay, so then you want this tab, so you want to angle it here. And I kind of make a little angle like so. This is bringing me back to my scrapbooking days. And you want to angle it here and angle it there to make, and then you're going to cut this one away. And it just makes it easier to get your scissors in there, or you could use this craft knife or whatever you have. I'm just going to use scissors. And what I'm making this out of, you can make this out of anything. You can make it out of paper. You make it out of cardstock. This is the backing off of a pad of paper is what I'm making this from. So it's not as hard. It's a little heavier than cardstock, but not quite as heavy as chipboard. Okay, so we're going to cut this one out on this side, and this one. Same thing. And then cut your corner tabs at an angle. That way they just fold easier and fold into the box easier. And you don't have all that bulk. Okay? That's that one. Now on your second one, you're going to cut your corner tab like that. And then you're going to cut your other corner tab. And then you're going to cut these in the middle, this one square here, you're going to cut this. So you're going to angle that. I cut it just like a little dart thing. Like so. And then you're going to cut all this away. Just cut it, waste it all. Just cut it all away. Like so. And you're going to cut this one. Okay? It looks like this. So you have one that looks like this and one that looks like this. Oops. This needs to be cut off. Sorry. Okay, so you have one that looks like that. It doesn't look right. No, I don't need these tabs down here. These need to come off. These all need to come off. So you have one that looks like that. Yep, like that, and one that looks like this. Okay. Now, to put it together, and you can use glue, you can use tape, whichever one you want to use. I use tape because it went faster. So I'm going to use 1/4-inch tape here. And you want to fold all these in after you score them. Either way, whichever way you want out of your box. I want this in of my box, inside my box, so I'm going to fold all of these like that, and I'm going to put tape on them on this side. I hope I've done this right. I worked on it all day yesterday so I could get it right for you guys. Okay, so you're going to put tape on all of the tabs. I think I've got a shadow. I don't think I got quite my lighting right today. How was your Thanksgiving, everyone? Mine was really good. Really good. But we're tired of leftovers, so we're not eating any more turkey. We had turkey for too many days. So last night for dinner we had French toast and bacon. We had breakfast for dinner. Okay. Just putting tape on our tabs. And then I'll show you how to do this if I can get the tape on right. This is that double stick tape. Okay. Now, this is how we put the box together. You have your two sides here, and sometimes I just have to keep fiddling around with it till I figure it out right. Okay, you're gonna want the one with the 3 on the end. You're gonna put that here on this one. Okay, do you see what I'm doing here? On the middle part. So I'm going to take the tape and stick this one down, and you want to stick it so it's inside of the bottom box. You see what I'm doing? Did you get an idea? Gonna do the same on the other side, and it gets kind of tricky on how to get in here, but I think I figured out an easier way. So you're gonna line that up. Make sure you line it up with your score lines. And I just go in with my finger, or if you have a bone folder, whatever you have to get in there and push it down. Okay, now you have a box like this. See where we're going here? You have your 2 tabs here, and your box is going to fold up like this and like this. Okay, so this tab and this tab are going to go, that one's going to go there, and that one's going to fit down in there. So I try to get in this side and stick this one down. Like I said, it gets a little complicated. Then I take the tape off of this one before I go too much farther. Kind of stick it down inside this little opening and get it even as possible. In this, you can still stick your fingers down in there and get it tight. Okay? Now you're going to do the same thing on this end. Now this is the tricky part because you can't get your fingers down in there anymore. Now at this point, if you wanted to put some rice or some sand or something to weigh it down, you could. This one's not quite right. Dang it. It's really important to try to get it on the score lines. Sometimes you just can't. Okay, and I'm going to take off my tape here. Oh, I already done that one. My tape here. Okay, and then I'm just going to fold the box up. And get it down in there. And there you have your box. And that one where I tore it back up, it's not going to stick, so I'm going to have to put some glue down in there and stick it down in there. But anyway, there you have your box. I hope the instructions were clear enough. If not, I'm only going to show you the box today because I don't want to make this video very long because it takes so long to upload it. But this is a 2.5-inch box. This is a 3.5-inch box. So you see how you can have them lined up for a decoration, Christmas decoration. You can stack them on top of each other. Have your other little 2-inch box on top of here. Have your decorations, Christmas decorations. I mean, it's just a really cute little idea. I hope the box making was clear enough. If not, leave me comments down below and I'll see if I can tweak it another way for you so that you can understand it a little better. And then I'm going to come back and I'll show you how I did the decorations on it if you want to decorate it. Now, you can either do two things here with this. I put Christmas paper, cut squares and put Christmas paper on it. You can do that. You can paint your box. I was going to do some out of this Christmas paper, but the way I do the decorations, I didn't think it would come out right. So, I think I'm going to leave this box. I think I'm just going to paint this box maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. They came out okay on the light Christmas paper that I put down. So, I'm debating whether to put I probably will put matching Christmas paper on this or something. I have a pad that's just paper weight and not the heavy weight that is Christmas. And that's what I used on this. But anyway, if this box is clear for you, or if it's not, leave me comments.